UFC 312 finished up a few hours ago. I'm going to be reacting to the predictions that I made a few days ago. I think it was like Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday. Whenever I made the video, I'm going to be reacting to my predictions. I did very poorly on this card. Not the worst I've ever done, though. So I guess that's a positive. But some of the predictions on this card were pretty bad. Starting off with probably the worst pick I've ever made. That's a lie. But Ansel Jabli, I picked him to win. Don't know why I predicted him to win. I think I said Salih Kilo would crumble under the pressure of the UFC. Yeah. 19 seconds, Jabli got knocked out. So, took him 19 seconds, and Jabli's already out cold. Now, he wasn't out cold, and it was an awful stoppage from the referee. Would Jabli have won even if he managed to cling on to that single leg? Probably not. I don't know why I banked on Jabli to win. I'm never doing this ever again. Moving up down the card. Up down the card, geez. Mikhailov versus Hossele. Yeah, I picked Hossele to win. So did a lot of other people. I wasn't banking on him not shooting a single takedown or even, trying any of his judo throws because he has a black belt in judo. Thanks, Hossele. You twit. And I wasn't expecting his lat muscle to get swollen within like 3 bloody body kicks from McAfee. But I get McAfee. Yeah, is that his name? Yeah, jeez. McAlef? I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't expecting visible damage to be done within 20 seconds of the fight starting. So whoopsie daisy, whatever. Moving on to the next one. We're already 0-2. Nice one. Well, let's make it 0-3. This one wasn't that bad. I said round one KO for Steele. I don't know what Steele. Cody Steele. I said round one KO for Steele. I don't know why it says decision on the screen. You've got to bear with me. My production team, failed that miserably. But Ronju did get the decision. Now, this was a very, very good fight. Now, I do have notes on it, but I am kind of blocking it with what I'm in the worst possible position to get my notes on the fight. So that's always great. Right. I've got my notes on the fight. It's just everything's falling apart, so that's always great. So first round started off pretty slow. 90 seconds in, nothing really happened. The crowd was booing. Right, this was a potential fight of the night contender, and the crowd was booing in the first 90 seconds. So Steele had to change this around and shoot a double leg, and then they just started swinging at each other. Okay, swinging. That was the first round. Two people just swinging at each other. We then move into round number 2, which I just need to look at my notes again because my setup is absolute horse shite. I gave round 1 into Ronzu rounds. Moving into round 2, still gets dropped with a jab. Okay? Great start. Still, he gets dropped with a jab, which is, cheers, Steele. Thanks for making the prediction very bad for me. And then basically, he's getting his head snapped back with every single shot. Now, it was a very close fight. Steele was putting everything into every single punch he was throwing. Like he would put his entire body into an overhand right, and then Ronzu would just move out the way. He was levels above in striking over Steele. He wasn't landing at all. Ronzu was just landing more and pretty much just winning the fight based on that. They did the little Max Holloway thing where they like tee off at the end, whatever, and then they started shouting and hyping up the crowd. And it was a good fight to watch. Fight of the night, in my opinion. Don't know if it got fight of the night. Don't care. Moving on. First correct prediction on the card. I said round 1 KO for Topuria. This is Ilya Topuria's brother, if you don't know. The official decision was a Topuria decision. He looked all right. I mean, he does go from the sprawl position to backside very quickly, and this did cause him to lose back the backside position. I'm stuttering all over the place very quickly. So there are certain circumstances where you can't just progress from sprawl to backside as quickly as Topuria was doing it. Because if your opponent is competent whatsoever on the ground, they'll just scramble out of it and get back to their feet, which Thickness did once or twice. What else happened? I mean, rocked him with Topuria rocked Thickness with a very good, right hand. Same style as Ilya Topuria, his brother. He looks like a good fighter. He probably will get fraud checked before reaching the ranked fightings, but doesn't really matter. At least we have a new prospect on our hands. Moving up. Second fight I got correct on the card, Wang Kong versus Bruno Brazil. This was a pretty mid fight, if we're going to be honest, but Wang Kong was his levels above in terms of striking. Bruno Brazil did not even seem like she wanted to be in there. Get out of there. You don't want to be in there with her. Yeah, so pretty, I wouldn't say a mid fight, but like it was a pretty mid fight to be fair. Wang Kong definitely did deserve the win. 3 rounds to 0. Yeah, moving up down the card. If I say that one more time, bro, I'm crashing out. Tom Nolan versus Borshev. Now I had Borshev winning by a round 3 KO. He didn't win by a round 3 KO, and it wasn't even close. But Nolan did look pretty well. Kept trying to go for Darce chokes, which most of these guys with longer reaches and quite lanky do go for Darce chokes. It's just a thing that they do. But to be fair, he only has a 73-inch reach at 6'3", which is insanely low. There's some Max Holloway arms. What else happens? I have to refer back to my notes for this one. It's a very forgettable fight. Nolan landed more powerful shots, released a few roundhouses. I think he was trying bloody spin attacks at some point as well. Yeah, pretty much that's the fight. I'm not going to lie. Next up, Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. I had Santos winning by decision. He won by submission in round number 3. First things first, this fight was an absolute shit show, honestly. Firstly, Santos gets dropped by a head kick within the first minute, then holds onto a triangle choke armbar for a minute and a half. I don't know how Jenkins didn't go out. I don't know how he managed to get out of the choke, but he did. Then what happened? Then, I mean, he won on damage, won that fight on damage, won that round on damage, sorry. And then Santos pretty much wins the second round just on damage, good elbows, whatever, moving on. And then he lands a front kick in the beginning stages of the third round, which drops Jenkins. If it would have landed cleaner on the chin, it would have been a KO, but it didn't land clean enough on the chin for it to physically knock out Jenkins, so it kind of just wobbled him a little bit. But Santos managed to get him up against the cage, get him down, and then progress to a back position where he did choke him out and get a submission. Moving on down the card, we have Jake Matthews versus Francesco Prada. I had Prada winning by KO. I don't know why I picked Prada. I also clearly didn't realize that being 5'10" with a 69-inch reach at welterweight was tiny. Funny on me. Should have stayed at lightweights, Brado. You're arguably a featherweight. You've just got too much muscle mass, lad. He is far too undersized for the welterweight division. He needs to move back down, otherwise he's going to get bullied. But Matthews was basically just winning every single exchange. Prado was landing 4 times. Matthew was landing 5 times. That was pretty much the entire fight. He just landed more in every exchange and landed better strikes. Moving on, Jimmy Crute versus Bellato. This was also another train wreck of a fight. First things first, Bellato's getting dropped in the first. No, he's not even getting dropped. He's trying a takedown, failing the takedown, getting reversed on, getting held down for 3 minutes and beaten up. Then he gets back up to his feet and gets rocked, dropped, and then nearly finished within the final seconds of the first round. Mental. Okay, and I didn't schedule for a round 1 KO. And then we go into round 2, and I mean, it's looking slightly better. He's still getting beaten up a little bit, but he is still turning around slightly. Crute is starting to tire out a little bit. Jimmy Crute didn't really have the gas tank for this one. There's quite a few people on the card. Anyway, moving into round 3, I mean, Bellato managed to bring it back. They both look really tired. On round 3 of a fight, don't get them anywhere near a 5-round fight, or they'll probably both die of exhaustion. It was a draw. Rightfully a draw. Round 1 was a 10-8 for Crute. Round 2 and 3 both go to Bellato, in my opinion anyway. Moving on, feature fight of the card, Justin Tafa versus Talashun Teixeira. I'm so tired. Prediction was a KO round 2 for Teixeira. It was a 30-second KO round 1 for Teixeira. Realistically, Tafa is literally just a fat heavyweight. He has missed the weight cap at heavyweight before. He almost missed it this time. I mean, bro, he was complaining about the stoppage, which it was quite early, but you can't really complain about it when you're sat in a fetal position getting your head caved in. just facts, really. Not really much to talk about. Got dropped with an elbow. Teixeira did look pretty good in the 30-something seconds he was on the feet before finishing the fight, because Tafa is an incapable opponent. But no, good win for Teixeira, 6'7", 83-inch reach. He's bigger than most of these guys. Yeah, good win for Teixeira. Moving on. Co-main event, Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. I said Suarez would win by a round 2 submission. Zhang Weili won it by decision. Tatiana Suarez had a round and a half of cardio. In a title fight, how do you work your way to a title fight with a round and a half of cardio? You're gassing out at like midpoint in round 2. Basically, she won round 1 pretty easily. Cut her knee open with a giant gash while jumping for a takedown. Literally the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Whatever. And then she gasses out round 2 and then proceeds to lose the next 4 rounds. So she loses round 2, 3, 4, and 5. And Zhang Weili just shows that she's better on the feet and is also very competent on the feet, which is something you don't always see in women's MMA anyway, especially comparing that to Tatiana Suarez. Their striking just isn't as crisp as the male fighters. It's just a fact. They don't like their technique is very. I don't want to say it's poor, but it's not. It's not as good if you get what I'm trying to say. But Zhang Weili did look very good on the striking field anyway. Very competent, very good performance. Arguably the strawweight GOAT, if we're being honest. She might be moving up for. She might be looking for a move up to flyweight. Anyway, moving on. Main event: Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. I said a round 4 submission for Dricus du Plessis. The official decision was a decision for DDP. Strickland got his nose broken, didn't change anything up, very one-dimensional the entire fight. Very frustrating to watch as well, didn't let his hands go. Poor performance from Strickland, really, if we're being honest. And du Plessis just did what he did. Like, the differences between du Plessis and Strickland is du Plessis willing to let his hands go and do whatever he needs to do. Strickland's just going to jab and teep his way to a decision. And when that doesn't work out for the first 2 rounds, it fails completely. And Dricus du Plessis just got that different mindset where if something's not working, he's just going to just run at them and swing. So, we finished the card with a 42% prediction rate, 5-7. That is awful. And an overall prediction rate of 62%. Hopefully, we're going to try and increase that with Cannonier versus Rodriguez next week. But that's it for now. Hopefully, you all enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.